going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Acts of Creation. Today we're going to be talking about some melodic riff writing. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I'm just taking a chord progression, and when I write a riff over it, I want my riff to outline that chord progression. I want my riff to have some sense of harmonic movement that we're playing through. I'm not necessarily playing the chord tones note for note. I'm just roughly outlining those chords, giving my riff some nice harmonic movement. So before we jump into breaking down the riff, let's look at the basic chord structure that I'm using. And I'm going to give you the basic chords, and then I'm going to show you the chords I'm actually using, and then we'll go over the riff. And just so you know, the link for the tabs for this lesson, as well as some backing tracks, is in the description. I definitely recommend downloading those and following along because it really helps. So the chord progression I'm playing is pretty simple. It's E minor. Let me get a nice clean sound here. E minor to D major to A major to E7. Okay, so that's the basic foundation of the chord progression. Now, in the actual clean parts that you're hearing, those aren't the chords that I'm playing. I'm spicing them up a little bit because these are a little bland for my taste. There's nothing wrong with them, they're just, like I said, it's a little bland. So basically what I'm playing is I'm coming up in the 5th position, I'm playing an E minor 9 chord. Now I'm not forming the whole chord. I'll tell you the whole chord, so it's middle finger on 7 of the A, 5 on the D, 7, 7 on the G and B, and then letting the E string ring out open. Love that chord. So I'm not playing the low E and A, I'm just playing the top 4 strings. And I will be playing the top 4 strings on all of these chords. Right? And then I'm playing essentially what could be considered a D add 9. And that chord would be 5 on the A, 4 on the D, 7 on the G, 5 on the B, and then the open E again. And like I said, I'm not playing the A string. So I'm just playing the top 4 strings. And then I'm taking that A chord, and I've changed it to an A sus4. So that's 7 on the D, 7 on the G, 5 on the B, open E. And then to change this to an E7 chord, I only have to change one note, and that's the 7th fret on the D, drops down to 6. Then notice G sharp, which is now the major third of, and there I get E7. And if I were to put my ring finger down on the A string, I have a very popular C shape chord. Just in this position gives you E7. So those are the chords that I'm using. So how do I outline that in a riff? Well, let's take a look at it. So if I play, first chord is E minor, I know that, so I'm going to be bouncing off of where my chord is. So I'm going to play my low E right there. So those of you who play some good old rock and roll, you know that if you play 7 and 5 on your A string with your E, open E, you're going to get a good E minor rock sound. So that's what I'm going for. So right there, so I have my open E, 7, 5, 7, and then 5, 7 on the D. Alright, and then here, quick slide up to the F sharp or the 9th fret on the A string, which is now we're transitioning to the next chord, which is D. So we have the landing on the 3rd of D, playing D, the root note, sliding down the B, 7th fret on the E, and then grabbing the D note again on the A string. Okay, and that's outlining the D chord. And there's a cool thing going on here. I do it for the D chord as well as the A chord, which is coming up, is that you can play related chords. So if I'm playing D, I can play B minor. If I'm playing A, I can play F sharp minor. Essentially the relative major and minor of each chord, and it's going to sound good because the chord tones are essentially the same. You're just getting some additions to that. Alright, so now we're transitioning to the A chord, and I'm playing A. I'm playing A, B, 5, 7, and sliding down to the F sharp. And here we go. I'm kind of outlining an F sharp minor chord, which is the relative minor of A. Don't get hung up on the theory. You can check out the notes for yourself if you write them out. They're very similar. So coming down, we have quick slide up from the 4 to 5 on the D string, which is our C sharp to D. Grabbing the E on our D string, which is 2nd fret, and then my pinky, I'm playing the D, and here I'm already starting to think of my E7. Very bluesy. Right? Very bluesy sounding. So I'm slightly bending the 3rd. Coming down playing E, C sharp, B, or 2 on the D, 4, 2 on the A. So let me play that real slow. Right? And then to cap the first phrase off, I'm playing basically a blues lick in E. I'm starting on the G string 2nd fret, and I'm trilling, or hammering on, not a trill, slurring. Right? 2, 3, 2, 0, grabbing that flat 5. The blue note. On the D string, 2 open, and then on the A string, 2, 5. And that's the end of the first phrase. So let me play that for you slow. Right? And then those notes, the B to the D or the 2 to 5 and the A, it's B, D, E. Those are chord tones of E7. And you should hear the pull or push up that the D goes to the E. If you're unfamiliar with that kind of push and pull towards chord tones, definitely spend some time with the scale and try to realize that. So, now the second half. Now when I play riffs or come up with riffs like this, as just a writing tool, I hate to use such a strong word, and I use it again. I dislike playing the same thing over and over and over again. So I like to add variety, almost like a call and answer to your riffs. And the same thing comes here. So the first half of the riff is identical, the first 2 chords, E minor and D. Now here's where the change comes in. Instead of playing the B on the low string, I play the B on the D string, which is the 9th fret. Right? I get a little B minor action there. 9, 12, 7, 9. All on the D string. Right? Now the A chord's coming around. I'm going to play the A just so you can hear what I'm playing. Right? So I have 7, 9 on the D, 7, 9 on the G, slide up to F sharp, back to the D. And now here comes my E7 chord. I grab E, slide up to the 3rd, G sharp. Now I'm going to play the melody on a single string. That's the melody of the riff. Okay? Sounds good, all the notes work. Not really my kind of thing. So what I do, I love dissonance. There's real emotion, real tension that can be found in dissonance, not just ugly pounding of minor seconds. So what I do is when I slide up and I play the G sharp and the A, I actually cross string that and let them ring out against each other. It's a half step, so you get that kind of sound. And then back down to the E. And then I do the same thing with the D and the C sharp, or the 7 and the 6. So I play the D on the 7 and the G, and then I'll grab with my pinky the C sharp on the D string, which is the 11th fret. And I get that sound. Love that sound. I use it a lot. It's a real melodic way to use minor seconds, rather than just playing a metal riff where doing that kind of stuff, which is fun in its own right, but kind of out of context here. And if you like that kind of sound, when you play a major scale, that happens twice in the major scale, naturally. I'm not adding any non-diatonic or outside the key notes here. Right? Really fun, so I would definitely recommend checking that out, see if you like that and you can incorporate it into your playing. So let me play the whole riff for you slow. I'll play the A phrase and the B phrase for you, okay? And there you go, melodic riff writing. I like to do this stuff all the time. I'll start with, say, a basic simple chord progression, and then I'll reharmonize those chord progression to make it a little more interesting, add some extensions and some cool voicings. And then when I come in the riff writing, I try to explore all those options in a riff. And we're gonna, this isn't metal by any means. It's a little rockish, it's fun to play. I have a good time with it. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Like I said, the tabs and the description, backing track, it's in the description below. So definitely check that out. See if you can see the chords that I'm outlining. And as always, let me know what you come up with. So until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.